Hi, thanks for watching again. Always a pleasure. So recently I had this idea of creating a small toolbox that will carry as much as I can get into a small space as possible. So if I'm out and about somewhere, I've got something that will basically do the job. Being a kind of more electronicsy guy, I may have a thought to squeeze in a few more things that are sort of orientated that way at some point. But at the moment, I'm just looking for just a good set of things that will do as many different jobs as possible. So I'll show you what I've got so far. Here we are. I've got this to start with, a small, you can see perspective here against my hand, a small Stanley cheap and cheerful toolbox. It's not bad actually for the money. A couple of little side slots here. Yeah, you can store things both sides, and we have the usual, if I can do it one-handed, little drop-in tray there, a couple of bits in and stuff inside. So yeah, so as I say, I wanted to just cover, you know, I can sort of think of the usual sort of things I might need. I mean, some things are obvious, small posi drive screwdrivers, that kind of thing, a knife. I thought a torch would be a good idea. So anyway, I'll show you a couple of recent additions and see what you think. Here we have some fairly chunky side cutters. They call them cutting pliers. I wouldn't call them pliers myself, but there you go. You're either cutting or using pliers, aren't you, really? But anyway, these actually I picked up at a garden centre. I don't know if I've ever seen X-Trade before, but I looked at their stuff and it actually looks quite solid. I quite like it. So I'm going to have to test them for a little while to see how well the blades last, whether, you know, it's just going to fall apart on me or what. I have no idea at the moment. Perhaps we'll come back in a couple of months and see. But you should be able to go through, well, it says cuts up to 1.6 millimeter, so most sort of wiring jobs, that's not going to be a problem. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But I also saw some, I didn't actually pick any up, but I was looking at the tools in B&M as well, not B&M, the range. Yeah, I just wondered if anyone's ever used anything out of there before. Again, it doesn't look too bad actually, but yeah, let me know. Comments below if you have used any such thing. But anyway, so yeah, these were, I can't think what I paid now. Probably, I don't know, I think they're about £6, something like that. Pretty average for that sort of thing. Obviously heavily insulated, so kind of electrical type things. So that's the first thing, but I need to give them a try out really. But yeah, as I say, if you've ever used X-Trade before, let me know. So next on the list we have a DeWalt screwdriver, ratchet style, as you can tell, which came with these bits. I was initially thinking of something, I wanted something that covered Torx, and at first I thought it didn't come with any because the image wasn't correct on the site. I think that was Toolstation actually. So I actually bought a bunch of Torx bits, which I possibly don't need now, but anyway. Yeah, I wanted something that sort of covers a few different ranges, and obviously DeWalt's not known as the cheap and cheerful end a lot of time, but seemed pretty good to me, and it's got a couple of cool little features. So if I can show you, it does actually extend out, so you can do that sort of thing. Yeah, so that's quite useful, so you can get into more narrow spaces, even though it's quite a sort of chunky arrangement. Yeah, it doesn't store the bits on the end, unfortunately, but that doesn't bother me too much. You know, there's space in the toolbox anyway. Do you see me picking at it just in case? I didn't believe myself, did I there? But yeah, so it's got a range of these bits. I think these are supposed to be impact sort of quality, for want of a better word. These ones anyway. But again, I sort of put it to the test and see how we get on, really. But that gives us a possibility of quite a few options again in a small amount of space. So while we're here, we'll have a look at some of the other bits. Pretty decent torch again, Stanley ones. You can get a lot for your money with Stanley. Actually, I think you know, a lot of them bits are really well made. It's pretty bright, so that's useful. And this blade here, this is a Magnuson knife, utility knife. So I'll pull the blades out and you can see what that's like. Comes with a 2 blade options, which I thought was a really useful feature. You've got your standard sort of utility knife, yeah, and a serrated end at the bottom there. So yeah, I thought that was quite good. And spare blades over there, and then inside, again, these are all kind of random makes, aren't they? We have a nice sort of smallish adjustable, which can be useful for different jobs. Set of again, as yet unopened Allen keys, again always useful, especially if you need to get into any cases. And a couple of different sized screwdrivers, one flat blade, Erbauer, these ones are, and a sort of medium sized posi. And in here we have a little multi-tool which covers another little range of possibilities. There you go. This folds out into a few different things. We have pliers here, sort of like not really long nose, but yeah, sort of medium sized pliers. They actually are cutting as well. We have, if I can do this also, because I'm being lazy and doing it one-handed here, we have various tools hiding in here. Knife, screwdriver, yep, screwdriver bits in there, and sorry about this, little file, again, could be handy. I think it said it was yeah, saw. So yeah, got a whole host of different bits in there. Sorry about the terrible film in there. But yeah, again, you can cover quite a few different things, and I was quite, you know, the build of this looks pretty good, and it folds away really nicely into a case. Look, I can even do it one-handed, even though I probably shouldn't. There you go, and that just sits in that nice little pocket there. And there we go. So that's about what we have so far. Now, I'm being an electronics kind of guy, like I said earlier. The one thing that is kind of in the back of my mind that I might use is a portable soldering iron. And I've never had so far one of these new kind of USB style soldering irons, and from what I've seen in other videos and on their manufacturer's own pages, etc., they look pretty good. Quite impressed with them. In many ways, could be a better option than the old traditional gas soldering irons. So yeah, they seem pretty good. So I'm quite tempted, and there's a whole range of makes out there now, and some of them not too ridiculously expensive as well. So that could be on the cards at some point, and we can give them a really good test. Plenty of things to practice those on, and you know, there's a possibility in the future I may go out on to do jobs at people's locations in the future. So that's not, I don't do that at the moment, by the way. So, but it's something I may consider in the future. But you want again a good kit to hand if you've got that sort of thing. So that's something. But what else? give us a comment and see what else you think I should have in there. What's essential? What's the most useful things that might come up that I can squash into this thing. I'm not actually, although I'm a big fan of the foam, I'm not actually going to do that because my in the case of this, I'm basically trying to squash in as much as possible. And whereas I love the organisation of foam, good old shadow foam, um, it's neat, but you can't squash as much in, and I'm keen just to squash in as much as possible. So, but anyway, but if you've got any ideas about whatever else I might be able to squeeze into this thing, let us know. But yeah, for now, I think that's about it. But if I see any other cool little tools that maybe do more kind of multi-tool type things that could be useful, I think I might want some chunky pliers in there at the very least because they're always useful, and maybe more like the sort of plumbing style pliers could be useful. Mole grips. See, I'm even thinking of other things now. But yeah, let us know what you think. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.